I'm not supposed to know what I'm about to tell you. Last week, I did something unforgivable. I hacked into my daughter's email. I know how that sounds, but I've been trying to reach her for 3 years. No calls returned. No texts answered. Total silence. So I got desperate. And what I found, it explained everything. There was an email to her therapist. She wrote, "Dad reached out again. I can't do this. I won't let Oliver meet him. I can't let my son experience what I experienced. I'm 76 years old. I built a $200 million company. And I'm sitting here, staring at those words. Try to remember. What did I do to her? What was so bad that she's in therapy about it? That she'd rather let her 5-year-old son grow up without a grandfather than risk. What? What does she think I'll do? And the worst part? I'm starting to remember. And I wish I wasn't. If you're joining us for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. Her name is Sarah, my only child, born in 1982, when I was 38 and finally thought I had everything figured out. Her mother, Linda, and I had been married for 8 years by then. We built the business together from nothing, manufacturing precision parts for medical equipment. Started in our garage. By the time Sarah was born, we had 40 employees and contracts with 3 major hospitals. I thought I was doing it right. I thought providing was love. Working 16-hour days. Missing her first steps because I was in Detroit finalizing a contract. Skipping her school plays because we were negotiating with investors. Linda said she understood. We were building something. Something that would take care of Sarah forever. But somewhere in those years, between 1982 and 1995, I stopped seeing them. Not literally. I came home. I sat at the dinner table. But I wasn't there. My mind was always back at the factory, running through production numbers, supplier issues, payroll problems. Sarah was 13 when Linda filed for divorce. I remember that part clearly now. I was in Shanghai, touring a potential manufacturing facility. Linda called at 3 a.m. my time. She said, "Sarah asked today if you even remember her middle name." I couldn't tell her you did, because I honestly don't know anymore. I did remember. It was Rose, after Linda's mother. But I never told Sarah that. The divorce was clean. Linda didn't want the business. She wanted a house in Portland and enough money to raise Sarah comfortably. I gave her both. I kept the company and an apartment downtown. Sarah was supposed to spend weekends with me. She came those first few months. Sat quietly on my leather couch while I worked on my laptop. I'd order takeout, always Chinese, because I thought kids liked Chinese food. She barely ate, just pushed the noodles around her plate, and asked if she could watch TV. I said yes every time. Easier than talking. By the time she was 15, she stopped coming altogether. Said she had homework, friends, a boyfriend. Eventually, Linda didn't push it. Neither did I. I told myself teenagers were difficult, that she'd come around when she matured. The company went public in 2001. I made $47 million in the first month after the IPO. I sent Sarah a check for $50,000 on her 19th birthday with a note that said, "For college, I'm proud of you." She never cashed it. She went to Reed College, studied social work. Of all things, I couldn't understand it. All that intelligence, all that opportunity, and she wanted to help people fill out food stamp applications. I told her so once at her graduation. She looked at me with this expression I didn't recognize then, but understand now. Not anger, disappointment. She said, "Of course you'd think that." I thought she was being dramatic, entitled, even. She married a teacher named Leo in 2008. I found out from Linda, who called to ask if I was planning to attend. I wasn't invited. Linda said Sarah didn't think I'd come anyway, so why bother with the awkwardness? I didn't fight it. I sent another check. This one for $100,000. A wedding gift. Leo sent it back. There was a handwritten note. "Sarah doesn't want your money." She never did. That was when I should have understood. But I was 64 years old, and I'd spent my entire adult life believing that money was how you showed people you cared. That providing was loving. That sacrifice meant working, not being present. I sold the company in 2015 for $200 million. After taxes and distributions, I walked away with $112 million personally. I was 71. I'd achieved everything I set out to achieve, built something from nothing, provided security for generations. I was also completely alone. I started trying to reach Sarah then. Emails at first, then letters. I didn't apologize. I didn't think I had anything to apologize for. I just wanted to, I don't know, see her, know her, maybe meet Leo. I'd heard from Linda. They were trying for a baby. She never responded. Linda died in 2018. Lung cancer. Sarah called me to tell me about the funeral. We stood on opposite sides of the cemetery. She was pregnant, very pregnant. I could see it even from 20 feet away. I tried to approach her after the service. She turned and walked to her car. That was 3 years ago. Oliver was born in October 2018. I know this because I hired someone to find out. I'm not proud of that, but I want to know my grandson's name, his birthday, something. The investigator told me they live in Eugene. Leo teaches high school history. Sarah works for a nonprofit that helps homeless families. They own a small house, 2 bedrooms, 1 car. They're not struggling, but they're not comfortable either. I put $2 million in a trust for Oliver, set it up to transfer on his 18th birthday, sent the paperwork to Sarah's address. She sent it back, shredded with a note that said, "Stop, just stop." That was 2 years ago. Last week, I paid a man $5,000 to access Sarah's email. He did it in 40 minutes. Said it was easy. People use terrible passwords. I didn't read everything. Just search for my name. There were dozens of emails to her therapist. Years of them, going back to 2010. In one from 2013, she wrote, "I keep trying to figure out when he stopped seeing me as a person and started seeing me as an obligation. Was it always like that? Or was there a moment when I became just another item on his to-do list?" In another, from 2016, Mom told me once that he missed my birth because he was in a board meeting. She went into labor at noon. He didn't get to hospital until 11 p.m. because the meeting ran long, and then he had dinner with the investors. He brought flowers. Thought that made it okay. I don't remember that, but I believe it. The one that broke me was from last month. Dad sent another email asking to meet Oliver. I can't. I won't. Because when I imagine my son sitting across from him, I see a little boy trying desperately to be impressive enough, smart enough, successful enough to earn a glance. And I see Dad checking his watch. I can't do that to Oliver. I can't. I'm sitting in my apartment now. 23rd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Everything in here costs a fortune. Italian marble. Custom furniture. Original paintings. It's silent. I tried call Sarah yesterday, from a different number, thinking maybe she blocked mine. She answered, heard my voice, hung up. I tried again. It went straight to voicemail. I thought about what I could say. What apology could possibly bridge 40 years of absence disguised as provision? I thought about the check I sent for her birthday when she was 12, $500, because I'd missed the actual day. I thought about her high school graduation, where I stayed for 20 minutes before leaving for a flight to Boston. I thought about every single moment I chose work over her and told myself I was doing it for her. She didn't need my money. She needed me, and I wasn't there. Here's what I understand now. At 76, after building an empire and losing everything that mattered, you can't buy back time. You can't fund transfer your way into someone's heart. You can't diversify your portfolio to include the love you should have given freely. I have $112 million and no one to leave it to, because the person who should inherit it doesn't want it, never wanted it, wanted something I was too blind to give. I'm not writing this for sympathy. I don't deserve that. But if you're reading this and you have children, and you're telling yourself that working this hard now means you could be present later, you're lying. Later doesn't come. Or when it does, they're gone. And all your success means nothing because the people you were supposedly doing it for learned to live without you. They learned they had to. Yesterday, Something arrived in the mail. A thick manila envelope, no return address. Inside was a drawing. Crayon on construction paper. A stick figure labeled Grandpa next to a stick figure labeled me. Between them, a big red heart. On the back, in handwriting I didn't recognize, Leo's, I assume, were 7 words. Oliver drew this. Sarah doesn't know I'm sending it. I've been staring at it for 18 hours. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's an opening or just cruelty disguised as hope. But for the first time in 3 years, I'm not trying to force contact. I'm not sending money or hiring investigators or hacking email accounts. I'm just sitting here, looking at this drawing, wondering if maybe, just maybe, there's still a way back. Not to being her father. I lost that right decades ago. But maybe to being someone Oliver knows. Someone who shows up. Someone present. I don't know if Sarah will ever forgive me. I'm not sure she should. But Leo sent that drawing for a reason. And tomorrow, I'm going to write him a letter. Not Sarah. Leo, I'm going to ask him what I should do. How I can be present without pushing. How I can be the grandfather Oliver deserves without traumatizing the mother I failed. I don't know if it will work. But for the first time in my life, I'm not leading with my checkbook. I'm leading with the only thing I have left. The truth. I failed. Completely. And I'm sorry. And if there's any chance at all, I'd like to try again. Not as the man who built a $200 million company. Just as Sarah's father. And Oliver's grandfather. If you made it this far, I need you to do something. If you have children, if you have people who matter, put down your phone right now and go talk to them. Not later. Now. Don't let later become never. Because I promise you, all the success in the world means nothing when you're 76 and alone, staring at a crayon drawing from a grandson who doesn't know your name. Don't be me. Please, don't be me.